Hi everyone. I know Ian said some of you had a few concerns about the community day next week. I thought I'd just do a quick screencast just to draw your attention to the briefing, which we shared on Google Community, and also Brendan sent an email out today about it. So, if you look through here, what I've kind of picked up is we've got the aim of the day there. So it's you going out in your multi-professional group. So that's when I allocated your groups. Hopefully you've got a mixture of different professions or from different courses. And the idea here, these are your objectives of the day. Explore access to health and wellbeing services, identify health and social inequalities, explore social capital in that community, identify community assets in the area, explore your role. So obviously if you're nurse, physio, OT, ODP, paramedic, work effectively as part of a group as well. So obviously this is going to feed into your assessment of the module. So we've already allocated your groups. I know some of you are worried that some people haven't, you've not met people in your group. So I have contacted the module leader about that. So if I hear anything, I'll let you know. I know last week we had at least 3 people per group, which we thought was probably a minimum. If it becomes any less than that, I think we might have to rethink things. If we kind of flick through here, it tells you all the different areas people are going to. I know Brendan has sent an email today saying even though you've been allocated an area, it might be worth clicking on the link he said in his email because there's sort of sub areas that you might, because some are obviously bigger than others. So that to me would be what you should be all kind of deciding on during this week and working on what you're doing and where exactly you want to go. You will be coming in next Friday into class to see me for a briefing, 9 till 10. And then obviously then you can talk to me about where you're planning to go exactly. And then we'll talk about what we do at the end of the day as well. So you can tell me that you're all safe and okay. So obviously if you're planning your route, you've got to be going from collegiate campus. So there's lots of resources within this briefing that you can look at. And I think the idea is you try and do a little bit of research before you go. So obviously there's some Sheffield City Council links on here. So you can find out a little bit of information about data from those areas, some statistics, maybe any newspaper stuff. So it'll just give you a little bit of background so you what to expect of the area. You'll obviously need to think about your travel from the collegiate campus up to your area. So there's a link for the bus timetables on there, if that's the way, or some of the areas you might be able to walk to as well. So if you think about purpose of this day, so you need to be looking at the local environment, any levels of deprivation, any inequalities, the diversity of the area, the housing, employment opportunities, transport networks, any sort of green spaces, schools, access to health services. So these are all things you might be able to do a little bit of research before. And maybe it would be a good idea to plan to have a look where they are in the community. So maybe they should be on your list of places to visit. Access to social care, libraries, education, shops, places of worship or prayer, any sort of environmental things like recycling, notice boards, community centres, defibrillators, any sort of fire services, local police services, neighbourhood watch, um, support for carers, what kind of signs you see around the place, are they multilingual, look at accessibility of buildings for people with disabilities, parking, all sorts of different things you've got there in the briefing that you could be looking for. So, like I say, if it was me, I would be trying to research the area a little bit based on those Sheffield Council links, just to kind of get an idea of what is in the area and then factor in a bit of a walk around that community so we can see where these places are and what's in the vicinity of them. Look at the green spaces, find out where the shops are in the area. And then obviously at the end of the day, you've got to do this little video log related to social determinants of health and well-being for your area. Uploading that to the Google Community. We'll agree next Friday morning how we'll communicate, so I know that you're all safe as well. They want you to take an interesting photograph of your community, which there'll be a prize for. And the other thing they're wanting you to do is in the following week to do sort of a mini debrief presentation as well. So the details of that are also here at the end of the assessment brief. So I will obviously get back to you if I hear anything about people not turning up to the group, not contributing to the group, and so forth. But for the time being, for the people who are engaged, you can be working on your group contract, you can be organising between yourselves any bits of research and divvy that up, and then sort of be planning where exactly you're going to go and what things you're going to have a look at during that day. And have a lovely weekend.